Hi and welcome everyone in this new guide. I am Dino Lombardi, driver and coach for Grid & Go Sports. Today we are in Germany, precisely at Nürburgring Grand Prix in best WEC layout with the Ford Mustang GT3. So let's start the lap. First corner, the braking is in a downhill, so it's really important to move the weight on the front more slowly, so the braking is obviously more progressively. And we start braking between the first and the second brake marker. Try to brake with the car straight as much as possible, obviously, for the maximum brake efficiency. And then when you start turning in, we need to aim the obstacle here in the inside. We need to pass very close on it, and we need to cut as much as possible, like this. Then go on throttle, and instead of open the steering wheel and go wide, we need to continue to turning towards the right for the early approach of the next corner, like this. When we arrive at the maximum right side, we start turning towards the next apex. Late apex corner here. And when we reach the apex, at this point, we go on throttle. Be careful here. Don't exaggerate on throttle because it's easy to lose the rear or take off track on the outside. Then for the next corner, I early go in and try to brake with the car straight as much as possible. So no, we don't want a smooth line here, but we need to go in early. Try to use less degree on your wheel. And don't brake too hard for this corner, like this. Turning around the curb here, it's really important to use all the space close to the off track, and then we need to sacrifice the exit of this corner, like this. We have the car completely on the left side because the next corner exit is more important than this one. So after this point, we're turning towards the right, just lifting a little bit, then come back on throttle, cut as much as possible here, open the steering wheel and use all the space possible in the exit because there is plenty of space here for using it. Only one thing here is this point. At this point, we need to come back on track with almost one tire for avoid the off track. Then for this corner, we start braking at the last cones here, and then we go in very fast and early because of the banking. So we go in early. Turning around the curb, go on throttle for from the middle of the corner. In the exit, we don't exaggerate on the line and on the throttle because we need to stay close to the middle of the track. Not here, not here. And then here, when you hit the brake, be very gentle, especially when you start turning towards the right, because it's easy to lose for a moment the rear of the car and lose the correct line. Turning around the curb, and from middle of this corner we go on throttle, use all the space in the exit and go down here until the hairpin. Here we go with 2 tires on this curb, and when the curb starts, meanwhile we start braking. This is a double apex corner, so we go in early towards this point for the first apex, like this. We go deep in the mid corner, and then here we have the slowest speed possible because we need to rotate the car. So we wait before go on throttle, and then from this point I go on throttle, hit the second apex, open the steering wheel, and that's it. Schumacher chicane here, full throttle for these 2 corners. We put 2 tires on top of this curb, and then we go down, turning around here the curb, not go up. Don't cut inside because the curb is too high for the GT3s. And then here instead we can cut inside like this. Here we put 2 tires on the outside. Just after the 100 meters brake marker, we start braking hard for a few meters. Then when you start turning in, we need to release the brake quickly, like this. We aim the inside part of the curb, and when we reach the apex, we go on throttle, but don't exaggerate on throttle. Don't go too early because we need to avoid the wide line here because of the next corner. Next corner is close, as you can see, to this one. So we need to go towards the left, hit the white line here, lift the throttle, just hit slightly the brake, and this is a late apex corner. From this point, from the apex, we go on throttle. Try to go very aggressively on throttle because after this corner there is a long full throttle section. So the space, obviously, full throttle until the last chicane. Here we put 2 tires on the outside, and when we reach the 50 meters brake marker, just a few meters before, we start braking. And then when you go in, it's really important to release the brake quickly, very quickly, because we need to have the car very agile for this chicane. It's a very fast chicane, and during the change of direction we need to be very aggressive, like this. Left, right, very quickly. Use all the space on the exit on top of this curve. And then we start braking in halfway of this curve. Late apex for the last corner, so we wait before turning. Then after we reach the start of the pit wall, we start throttling, open the steering wheel, use all the space in the exit, and that's it. We reach the finish line. So the tutorial ends here. Enjoy it and see you next time. Bye bye.